When DDG met this girl, he was a rapper, YouTuber. She, on the other hand, was an A-list celebrity actress. So when DDG came into that relationship with her, this is him. He comes in below her. At some point, they become equal, and then he starts to overtake her. Now, the roles are flipped. This is why she's crashing out, because when they entered the relationship, she was above him. This is Haley, this is him. When they entered the relationship, this is how he came in. She has the authority, she has the power, she has the fame. She's the pants in the relationship. So now that she no longer has this power, she crashes out, takes his gun. I'm gonna end it all. She's lost all control of the relationship that she used to have, and that is why she's crashing out.
You see, again, it's more messages, okay? Again, more threats. I'm gonna call you one more time. Just how she talks, like she speaks as if she's like the authority in his life. As if
That's a fact, and I've been saying this for a minute that she's been bossing him around. Chat, isn't it crazy to see all these messages behind the scene, like basically confirm what I've been saying for a year or two? When I said, yo, she wears the pants in a relationship, she's the famous one, she's the actress, she's the one with the connections to Hollywood, he's got to walk on eggshells dealing with her, like she's bossing him around. Like you guys are literally seeing what I told you guys was occurring behind the scenes. And here's the other thing too. You guys want to know why she's acting so crazy now? Because she lost the power. Right? So she started to realize like, oh, damn, I'm starting to lose the leverage in the relationship. He's talking to other bitches now. I can't really do too much. That's why she's crashing out doing all this shit, because she was used to having power over him. Once she lost the power, then she starts crashing out doing all this dumb shit. But had he had the power from the rip and had her under control, he wouldn't be dealing with all this bullshit. Right? They could have broke up amicably, still have the kid, all that other shit. But since she wore the pants and she lost leverage, that's why she's being so crazy now, chat. And this is the importance of getting your girl in line early, okay? When you don't have your girl in line early, you're gonna pay for it in the back end, right? Let me explain, right? Let me really give you guys some sauce here. How you begin the relationship, oftentimes, right, is how you're gonna end. Now, if you meet a girl and you have strong frame and you let her know what's acceptable and what's not acceptable from the beginning, and you have very clear and strong boundaries, right, that you are willing to enforce, women won't cross you, right? Now, here's the problem. Most men don't have the sexual market value, the skill set, agency, or game, or charisma to pull this off up front, okay? Most men can't do this up front. They just can't. They're getting with a girl that's like, most men have to get with girls that have either low interest or medium interest. All right, now I want you guys to really pay attention here, because I'm really gonna explain this shit and break it down for you. Okay? And then we're gonna link it back to DDG. Class in session, niggas. So most men, when they meet a girl and are dating a girl or courting a girl, they're dating her from the perspective of she's either low interest or medium interest. Okay? Most men don't have the privilege of dealing with women up front with high interest, okay? Because most men are average. Therefore, since most men are average and most women don't want average men, most guys that are average have to deal with a deficit, a sexual market value deficit. And what they have to do is they have to come in and deal with her at low interest or medium interest. Low interest is where you're pursuing her a lot in the beginning, right? You're going out on maybe 2 or 3 dates before you have sex. You're having to reschedule because she might flake here or there. You're putting all this fucking work in, right? Medium interest is where she's reciprocating. Maybe you're giving 70, she's giving 30. Low interest is like you're giving 80 and she's giving like 10 to 20, low interest. And then high interest is like when it finally starts to turn over and it's like 60-40 or 70-30 in your favor. But most men are operating from, again, low to medium interest. This is important, okay? So since most men are climbing an uphill battle when they're dealing with women in modern dating place, because most men are average and most women don't want average men. This is very important. You guys need to understand this. Average women no longer want average men in today's day and age, right? So guys have to come in and deal with women that aren't as interested. Now, they have to make concessions to do this. It means they're taking them out on multiple dates. It means they're giving them more time and attention. It means that they're maybe not listing out all of their intentions up front, right? They're selling the girl a boyfriend dream, right? Selling a dream of, monogamy, right? They're selling her a future. And this is how less attractive men or less desirable men are able to go ahead and pick up women that are significantly more attractive than them. They offer a lot more upfront in the relationship to counteract their low sexual market value. I'll give you an example just so this really makes sense because I need you guys to understand this concept before I move back over. Let's say you are a regular guy. You're a plumber. You make $40K a year, right? You know a girl from high school, the hottest girl, right? You're 22 years old. You guys went to high school together, whatever. You meet up at a party with her, right? You go to a reunion and you see her there. You start talking to her and you try to initiate something, right? She doesn't seem too interested, right? You're an average guy, average looking, making 40, 50K per year. She just came back from college. She has her little job. So you're texting her, sending her good morning messages and shit like that. You're giving her attention. Maybe you brought flowers to her one time. This is how most men have to court women, by the way, which is why I'm explaining this. This is how most men have to court women, right? Giving flowers, phone calls, texting, FaceTime calls, all this shit, right? Normie guy game. She's not as interested in the beginning, but he slowly builds up interest, right? Now, since he's an average man, he can't come in and be like, hey, bitch, I want to have multiple girls. I need you to obey me. I'm the fucking man, and this is how it's going to go. He can't do that. He doesn't have the sexual market value and the capital to be able to dictate terms like that to women up front. He's operating from a deficit, low to medium interest. So he's got to court the girl the way normies court girls. Giving her attention, long time phone calls, FaceTime calls, flowers, shit like that. 3 to 10 dates. 3 months passes. He finally has sex with her and now they're hanging out and they're seeing each other. Now, they're finally on equal footing. But how did he enter the relationship? He entered the relationship by courting her, being a nice guy, and white knighting, right? So in her mind, he's looking for something serious. She played games with him. She left him on red in the beginning. She made it very difficult. So in her head, she's playing hard to get to force him to put more effort in to get her so that she knows he's serious. Now, they've been dating for a year or two. He's making more money. He's making 80, 90K a year now, 100K, right? His value is going up. Her value is going down. He has an affair with another girl. With his newfound status and the fact that he has a girlfriend, he's pre-selected. So he's become more attractive to other women. He may or may not be aware of this. He has this affair for 2 years, 3 years. She finds out. Pandemonium. Why? Because when they met, she was low interest. When they met, she was the boss. When they met, there was a sexual market value discrepancy. When they met, he sold the dream of them being together and being monogamous. So he entered the relationship from a deficit, but actually inadvertently increased his value where now she's at a deficit. Does that make sense, chat? I really want you guys to understand this shit. So he entered in the relationship with her from a deficit perspective. He slowly brought up her interest, got her in a relationship, but his value also went up alongside it while hers went down. With this newfound value, being pre-selected by having a girl and making more money, other women want him. He goes ahead and gets other women. She finds out and she's livid. Why? Because in her mind, because women are keenly unaware of this, she actually lost value while he increased value. But in her mind, we started this relationship at a deficit. I am higher than you. How dare you fucking cheat on me? And that's where the fucking issues arise. Now let's bring this to DDG so this all makes sense. Because this concept is very important. Give me O/, does that make sense? The concept of disparity in sexual market value when men meet women. Give me O/ if that makes sense. Ones or O/. So that I can move on to the next thing. Because I had to explain this concept to you guys. Now we're going to go ahead and apply it to the current situation. All right. Now that we understand this concept of men meeting women from a sexual market value discrepancy, or disparity, now we can apply it to DDG. When DDG met this girl, right? He was a rapper, YouTuber. She, on the other hand, was an A-list celebrity actress. Now, let me explain something to you guys in Hollywood, the dynamic, and this is very important for you guys to understand as well. Traditional celebrities don't respect YouTubers, okay? I'm gonna say that again. Traditional celebrities, musicians, actors, actresses, comedians, talk show hosts, mainstream media celebrities, traditional celebrities, do not respect influencers in Los Angeles. They don't. They just don't. Okay? It goes athletes, actors and actresses, comedians, musicians, etc. Traditional celebrities are the most respected in LA. Influencers come behind that. Now, with that said, influencers have more influence, so to speak, than traditional celebrities, right? We proved this with the Donald Trump presidential run and him going on regular podcasts with influencers versus Kamala Harris getting A-list endorsements. But the fact is the fact. YouTubers and influencers are not respected in Hollywood. Now, why is this important? Because DDG is a YouTuber first. That's how he became famous. Okay? He transitioned to being a rapper after YouTube. And many of you might not remember this. But while he was pursuing his music career and going very hard with that, what did he do? He stopped posting on YouTube. He actually deactivated his channels. Or he stopped posting. This is a guy that used to post 2 to 3 vlogs a day, right? Guy used to go hard. But to pursue his music career, he stopped posting on YouTube and he didn't want to be known as a YouTuber because, like I told you before, in Hollywood, in Los Angeles, influencers are not respected to the same level as traditional celebrities. Now, his girlfriend at the time, Halle Bailey, is a traditional celebrity. She's an actress. She's known in Hollywood, musician, etc. So she is a traditional celebrity. So when DDG came into that relationship with her, this is her, this is him. He comes in below her. You understand? He's a YouTuber slash wannabe rapper. She's an actress. She's higher than him. As you guys can see here, there's a fucking disparity. Okay? Boom. Now, as DDG becomes more popular on Twitch, grows his audience, and streamers start to become the new celebrities, as shown from the Donald Trump campaign, this slowly starts to happen. Okay? This is DDG. This is her. Showing you guys this visually because this is a very important concept that you guys need to understand that you can apply to all those sexual market value situations. Okay? This is her. This is him. Slowly going up the ranks. Because not only now is he popping on streaming, and streaming is becoming a celebrity creating endeavor, he's also putting out music. So the gap is starting to close. Right? Now, as this gap is starting to close, guess what DDG is doing? He's seeing women, right? He's seeing other women. As she's becoming more and more difficult as a girlfriend, and his value's increasing, what is he doing? He's becoming more poppin'. As he becomes more poppin', women come in. That gap is closing. Okay? Then, at some point, they become equal. And then, he starts to overtake her. Now, the roles are flipped. Right? And as the roles are flipping, she is flipping. This is why she's crashing out. Because when they entered the relationship, she was above him, right? This is Haley, this is him. When they entered the relationship, this is how he came in. She has the authority, she has the power, she has the fame. She's the pants in the relationship. That's how he came in. But as streaming has become more and more mainstream and streamers are starting to get a bigger audience than traditional celebrities, he starts to overtake. And as he starts to overtake, he gets women in the process. Because as you increase your status as a man, guess what happens? You get more bitches. And he has a girl. So by him having a girl, he gets the pre-selection as well. So now he overtakes her. She doesn't like this. Because now he's on top and she's down here. She doesn't like this. That power dynamic that she used to enjoy in that relationship, she no longer has. So now that she no longer has this power, she crashes out. Takes his gun. I'm going to end it all. Blah, blah, blah. She's lost all control of the relationship that she used to have. I showed you guys a clip. He's over here saying, she gonna whoop my ass, I gotta end the stream and shit like that. She still had power back then, but now she doesn't. And that is why she's crashing out. And this is why it's so important, guys, right? For you guys to come into the relationship where you're already here and she's here. When things are established like this from the beginning, there is no crash out. There is no, I'm gonna do X, Y, Z, because she knows what it is up front. But since most men don't have the sexual market value or ability to dictate terms up front, because there's always this disparity, they have to rely upon getting with a girl that's not as interested and increasing interest over time while their value simultaneously increases. And then next thing you know, things are reversed. You're on top, she's below, and then she crashes out when you have other bitches. And you're finally start to enjoy the fruits of your labor of becoming a man and becoming higher status. And so I tell you guys, it's better to be honest up front and say, this is what it is, right? Make yourself the man that you want to be now so that when you get into a relationship, you can dictate terms early. So I tell you guys not to build with women. Don't do it. Women don't build, they move in. When you build with a woman, she's going to feel as though she's equal to you. And she's going to have certain types of behaviors if she feels betrayed. But if you come into the relationship pre-assembled, this is what it is. This is how I am. I'm going to have other women. You're going to still be loyal to me. You'd be fucking shocked at how many women are going to accept that pretense. You'd be shocked. But the problem is that most guys don't come from a position of dominance when they deal with women. They come from a position of inferiority. And as they come into a relationship from a position of inferiority, they build up their value slowly, but surely. And then when they do start to cheat or they do take the dynamic back, there's problems. Because when you enter the relationship, she was higher than you. And then as you overtake her, she's not used to this. She's not used to being fucking submissive to you from the beginning, okay? And that is the dynamic that we saw here with DDG. And this is why she's crashing out and going crazy. She's lost all the control that she used to have over him. And this happens to everyone. Obviously, you guys are seeing it on a big scale with DDG because they're both celebrities. But we can go ahead and break this down to the micro. I'm talking about the macro at the celebrity level, right? We're explaining this from the macro. But the concept and the principle still fucking applies. How you enter is how you're going to leave a lot of the times. Or how you want to leave so that you can get out clean. So this is why I tell you guys, become the man in the beginning, dictate your terms from the beginning, and then you're not going to get these stupid ass crash outs. Give me O/ in the chat if that makes sense for you guys. I think that was probably one of the most thorough breakdowns of intersexual dynamic disparities between relationships on the internet. And I know I went really in the weeds there, but I think it's critical that you guys understand this concept. That if you come into a relationship with lower sexual market value than a woman, you're not going to be able to dictate terms from the beginning like you want, and then trying to dictate those terms later on can spell the end of your relationship. It's not as easy to negotiate in the middle of a contract as it is to negotiate in the beginning. Becoming higher status in the middle of a relationship than telling your girl, I want to have other women, might be problematic for you. But if you tell her from the beginning, I want other bitches, this is how it's going to be, way easier. No headaches. That's why I say just become the man in the beginning, guys, and then you dictate the terms from the beginning. So you don't deal with any bullshit like this. Because increasing your value with a woman and then trying to negotiate terms later on or changing terms later on is going to create issues for you, as you guys are seeing right now. All right. Cool. So that covers the DDG stuff. Let's move on to the next topic.